All right. So we've had some pretty good practices for the acclimation period. I know there's some difficult circumstances out there for the players to have to deal with relative to the heat, but it's always been that way here. It's a great opportunity for guys to, have to overcome difficult circumstances, stay focused on doing the things they need to do to pay attention to detail, get the little things right, be able to stay focused in, adverse circumstances and situation, regardless of what that is. And I think that helps players sort of be able to overcome adversity. So I think the big thing right now is a lot of people know what to do, but I think the focus has to be on how to do it so that we can get the kind of execution that we need to be able to execute on a consistent basis, and why it's important to do it that way. I think sometimes, players sort of get a little tunnel vision on just what they have to do and don't see the big picture and understand why it's important to do their job in a certain way because of what everybody else is doing, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. So this is an opportunity to create great intangibles, work ethic in difficult circumstances, give an effort, finishing plays, having the kind of mental toughness that you need to be able to sustain, and then being responsible to do your job. I think a lot of meeting time, a lot of opportunities for guys to learn, a lot of reps on the field because we're repping everybody. So and so far, we're making some progress. Tomorrow will be the first day we can actually put on pads, but in 2 days in shorts and 2 days in shoulder pads, we've been able to make pretty good progress, and hopefully just with the one practice in pads, and then on Friday, we'll see where it goes before we scrimmage on Saturday. And we haven't really sat down and decided exactly where we are and what we want to do in the scrimmage and how we're going to scrimmage people. But I think we're just kind of taking one day at a time, especially in this early acclimation period.
Okay, we will get started with Cecil. Go ahead, Cecil. You can unmute.
Coach, I just wanted to follow up on two players. Nick Billing, Jaleel Billing was back at our viewing session the other day, and Xavier Williams, I guess, has not been with the team this fall. Did you have any on those two players, please?
Yeah, Jaleel's back at practice. We had some COVID protocols that we had to go through with him, and he's back out of practice. He needs to work his way back up, sort of the depth chart, because he missed a little bit of time. And Ziggy also has some medical issues that's keeping him out. We're without saying what, but he's medically, not going to play, this year.
Okay. Coach, we'll go to Michael Casagrande. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, we'll ask about Henry Teoto. I just wondered what you've observed from him so far in practice this year, and what he brings to this defense.
Yeah, Henry's done really well. I think familiarity with the system has helped his transition. Playing for Jeremy at Tennessee, very similar or same defensive system probably. I never asked him what they did at Tennessee, but just watching him on film, there's a lot of similarities. He's a very bright guy. He's a very conscientious guy, and he's picked up on things. He's very instinctive. He's got a lot of experience, so he's got good leadership qualities. So he's been a very positive addition, and he's done a nice job for us. And hopefully he'll continue to improve. And we'll see what happens relative. We have several guys competing at that position. Christian has played very well, so. He's going to play, and Moody's played some and is doing really well. So there's a lot of competition at that position.
Charlie Potter, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, just want to ask you about special teams real quick in the return game specifically. Just, where do you see things there, and who are maybe some guys that could be a factor in the return game?
Well, we're still working. It's a work in progress. We're trying to develop some punt return guys, but, JoJo has been really good at that. And has showed some promise doing it. Jacoby Brooks has showed some promise doing it, fielding the ball, doing a good job. Slade did it last year, so he's reliable to be able to do it. Kickoff return, got a few more guys that we're looking at. Jameson Williams is back there. Kamar Wheaton's back there. The other running backs are back there doing it. So a little bit more to choose from than we had a year ago, depth-wise.
Okay, we'll go to Ralph Russo with the AP.
Good afternoon, Nick. I was wondering, as you look at this year and how, you sort of look to it to play out, do you look for any residual effects impacting this season from last season's weird year? Maybe it's super seniors, maybe it's player development that was stunted from last year. Are there any things you're looking for that will make this season, that could impact this season that were sort of carryovers from last season?
Well, I think, the knowledge and experience that the guys gained last year, whether it was the knowledge and experience that they gained by playing in some really good competition, understanding exactly what it takes to, have success in, difficult environments against difficult teams. Those things are invaluable. I think the disruptions that players had to deal with and may still have to deal with in the future relative to our circumstance right now. It probably something that helped them be a little bit more resilient. But from our standpoint, we look at every day we get an opportunity to work with our players, whether we're in a COVID situation, whether we're off, whether we're pushing the season back, pushing practice back, whatever. Whenever that next opportunity comes, we have a process that we want to go through, a progression of teaching our players so that they have the best opportunity to go out and be successful. So our approach is to take advantage of every one of those opportunities. We didn't have an opportunity to go through camp last year, but I thought our team developed pretty nicely. I think it hurt us a little bit on defense where we're younger and didn't have as much experience. This year we're younger and don't have as much experience on offense. And I think having this camp will probably, help that group sort of grow and develop. So, you got to kind of play the hand that's dealt you, really. And sometimes you get pretty good cards and sometimes you don't, but you got to do the best you can with whatever you get.
We'll go to Nick Kelly with the T News.
For Jalen Armour Davis, what have you liked about him in the offseason? Then what would you like for him to take the next step in his game?
Jalen's done a nice job. He's got good knowledge and experience. He's got a lot of diversity as a player to play corner, play star. And he's gotten a little more physical, a little tougher. Durability has been a little bit of an issue for him in the past, being able to stay healthy, but that's not been something that's been a problem, this year or in this camp or this summer or, last spring. So we're pleased with the progress that he's making. And, we're going to continue to work with him. We got lots of competition in the secondary, which is a good thing. I think it's making everybody push each other.
We'll go to Mike Rodak.
What's been your message to players about social media in the past, and how much, if at all, has that changed now with NIL and there being a benefit for players to grow their brands and be as active as they can on social media and get as many people to follow them as they can?
Yeah, well, we've never ever restricted our players on social media, but I think, what you used the word there that is very important. How do you create value in your brand? All right, so it's not whether you use social media, it's how you use social media and using it in a positive way to enhance your brand, which is the only way anybody's going to want you to endorse anything for them is that you have a really positive, wholesome brand. So the only restrictions that we've had on social media is you don't post about the team and you don't post about negative things that are going to reflect poorly on your character, your name, your family, in any way. So, and I think the NFL does the same thing. I mean, Scott Pioli talked to the team the other night and he said, after your first year here, everybody's monitoring all your accounts. All right. So what you put out there is creating value for you one way or the other. So it's no different than we've always done. We promote guys to try to create value in their brand by what they do personally, academically, and athletically. And that's how you create value. And that's what people are interested in.
Okay, we got two more, Tony and then Ryan.
Yeah, Nick, do you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, yeah, based on what you've seen from the first handful of practices, do you see Trey Sanders being able to compete in full contact? Like when you guys move into full pads, do you think he's going to be limited?
He hasn't been limited. He's been doing really, really well. I don't know how he's going to continue to develop and progress, but he's worked hard. He's doing a good job. We're very positive and pleased with the progress that he's made, and we're very pleased with where he is right now. And he continues to work hard, and we'll see how he continues to develop.
Okay, we'll finish up with Ryan Hennessy.
Coach, touching up on the social media question, have any of the players came to you and said everything's recruiting? Maybe Coach Saban gets on social media more. Have you ever thought about that? Has anyone pushed you to do that? And what would that look like if you did?
Well, nobody has, and I don't know what it would look like if I did. I mean, you guys keep wanting to ask hypothetical questions today. I've never been big with social media. It takes a lot of time. You got to respond to a lot of things. I've tried to focus on two things here. How do we develop our players, and how do we bring players to our team, whether it's how we evaluate them or how we develop relationships to be able to recruit them here. And so far, that's worked okay. If any of you out there can convince me that me having a Twitter account is going to help us do a better job in either one of those things, then I might consider it. Otherwise, I don't know why I would consider doing it. And no players have come to me and talked to me about it. But if I would say this, if I thought it would enhance players' chances to improve their brand by something that I did, I would be all for it.